In this life, you are encouraged to plant a tree shade, and it's okay if you never get a chance to sit under this shade, because for some reason, someone that you relate to or with might just enjoy this shade when need be. Well, this statement carries so much weight with it, especially because of the story we are going to feature on today's episode of Everyday Woman here on KTN Home with me, Eustace Segete. Our guest today is Alice Mahonja. She takes us back to the year 2017, a time where the country had been marred by human rights violation, and for a moment we were at a standstill. Fast forward in 2018, she decided to open a foundation to take in families that were affected by these violations. Years on, 15 years now, she has also extended her grace to accommodate not only families, but by extension, children that are needy and less fortunate. Without further ado, let's go and engage Alice Mahonja, the founder of Safisha Africa Welfare Foundation here in Mollem. Hello, Alice.
Hi.
A pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
You allowed me to call you Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
Well, on that high energy, I'm pleased to have you on the show today. And your story is quite interesting, and would want to know, where were you born? How was it like growing up? First, before we dig deep into your story.
I was born in western part of Kenya, Vihiga constituency, in a small place called Buhani, in a family of 13. And I am the fourth.
Okay, how was it like growing up in a family of 13 children and you're among the firstborns, if I may say so?
It wasn't very easy. I could remember we used to go and go to the farms to have some work there, into people's farms to get some little money that we would be able also to buy food. We stayed in a very small, tiny house, 13 of us. Not having a blanket, not having a bed, that type of life.
Mm-hmm. But so how then would you survive through all those years up to a point where you now got a job?
It was like when you see you have a difficult life, your life is in poverty, if you are brave enough, you start strategizing how you can be able to make your life better. So with that, working into people's farms and saving and going into the college, I went to the Bible school, and from the Bible school, I also went to St. Paul's, where I did my diploma. After that, I did my advanced degree at St. Paul's United Theological College, which is now called St. Paul's University.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So you mean you took yourself to school with the savings you're getting from farm work?
Yes, I took myself to school.
Okay. Then at what point did you get your breakthrough?
I came to Nairobi, and I worked as a pastor. I got married to a pastor. I worked as a pastor in Nairobi. I also could be able to save, and through that working is what gave me also a breakthrough. And from there, I was able to understand people's problems, and particularly when I did visiting, when I did visitation to people's homes. If I encountered somebody with a problem, I knew this one was a really problem, and I was out to help with the small amount I got from the church.
You started helping people when you were a pastor at the time, and
yes.
Now you're running a foundation
yes.
that is giving back to the society and children. First yes. of all, perhaps your assistance at the time, is it what spoke to you to start what you are doing now?
Yes. Through what I went through and through assisting families in the slums areas, because I worked mostly in the slum areas, Dandora, Kariobangi. I worked even into this area where I am, and I saw that there was need to help people so that there is no poverty.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
yes.
And we are currently in Mollem, where we are seated is just one of the rooms of where she carries a daily business, a foundation that she's going to talk to us about. You founded this organization in 2008. I understand this was after post-election violence in 2007. First of all, give us a brief of what exactly you do here.
In 2008, I created a school to be able to have in the children who are being displaced from the post-election violence, where there was counseling. There was even a girl who had refused to go to school and had joined a gang here. I did some counseling to her. When I spoke recently to her mother, she told me, oh, now she's doing very well, and she's not no longer in Kenya. She has gone abroad. So all this counseling that I did to the children and the children on the street that I brought here, it meant like I needed to do more to help the children go to school. I have very many like coming in. You find a 10-year-old boy, not yet in school, not because it is his liking or her liking, but because of the poverty that has been fueled into the homes. So from there, from the help of the chief, the assistant chief, the children officer, the children are brought here where they are helped into the school. And the organization is here to support the school so that the school continues to support the children as they come into the learning.
Okay, amazing. And you know, when I was just reading your story, for some reason I found myself checking out the name Alice and what it means. And it means kindness.
Yes.
So from where I sit, it feels like a story of kindness. And I just want to know how it all began that time that you decided, you know what, yes, I've seen these children are suffering, these families are not in such a good state, and I want to help. So you decided to form your organization. You started by yourself, or you had like a team of people that you sat with and decided to put this together?
Yeah, I started with a few friends, and I felt, yes, I need this. You know, within an organization, you have to have somebody one person with a vision who says, come in, join me, let's do this. And from there, yes, I decided the name Safisha means clean. And for me, it was not just a physical cleaning. It was a wholesome cleaning because of what I saw. The girls who are getting into this place, married at 12 years, the children were just loitering around with torn clothes, not going to school. Why is it that children are not going to school? Oh, I don't have a father, or my father ran away from the home, and my mother is unable to educate for me. And with the help of collaborating with the assistant chief's office, we were able to bring the children in to start educating them. I used to be in a very small place. In this place, I've run around. I go to a place, I rent, I cannot be able to pay rent, they chase me out, I look for another place. I put the children in for schooling. I was by then a teacher, everything, but then I was determined to be able to help the children so that they have peace in their lives.
How many children were you accommodating at that time, and what was the frequency of you getting other children? Because from what you speak, seems like there were quite a number of families that needed your help.
Yeah, by then I started with 45. The number ran up to 65.
Wow.
And I needed also more teachers, and it wasn't very easy. But there was no time to give up and say, I back up, I'm going, because I chose, like, this was the work I wanted to do and I wanted to help. And no matter what happens, whether I'm defeated or whether I was just determined to do it. And it took me like 4 years without a breakthrough until in 2014, and a man from Australia just was landing to Kenya, and he Googled and found Safisha Africa, and she said, I wanted to come to Safisha Africa. By the time he was coming, I was renting a house. I was 4 months locked out. They wanted to lock me out because I had not paid rent for me. My children, my own children, were not going to school by then. He started paying fees for me, and that encouraged me to know that I was doing something worthy that was needed, and I had strength to move on and go further.
That's amazing. Just before we speak a lot more about the breakthrough, this whole time, where were you getting the money and the funds to support these 45 to 60 children? Yeah.
One, I said I used to borrow into the cereal shop.
Of course.
Secondly, I took a loan at the cooperative until they took me to CRB to support the children. I took a loan that they kept on calling me and telling me, pay this money, and pay this money, pay this money. It wasn't very easy. I'm supposed to feed the kids. I'm supposed to pay a loan at the cooperative and many other institutions. There was Jamie Bora where I took a loan. And yes.
You're all alone in this, or?
Yes, by then now I was like left all alone, like working. Nobody, when it comes to people giving, that's why I talk about sacrifice. Very many people don't want to give every day without seeing results. They want to give today and see the results tomorrow. They're not patient enough. So for me, patience is I give, I wait, and I see the work I'm doing prosper.
Wow, that's wonderful. But with all that you're saying, you had mentioned that you had a family. Was this sitting okay with your family that you're giving yourself to other people, yet you don't have the means to give them, and yet you're still in that space? How was it like, for your family to relate to what you're doing?
Actually, it wasn't very easy. The ex-husband, who, when I started supporting these kids, he started going around telling people like, he got married to me when I had so many children. So he doesn't want to stay with me. And so he quitted, he went and married another woman. And the story was like, okay, now you got married, you lied when you had some other children somewhere. But for me, I knew that I was actually supporting this work which I am in. And I was ready to continue supporting them.
And you can imagine with that, she still did not give up. She kept doing what she is doing until today we are seated in these grounds where she actually is continuing with work of sacrifice. Stay tuned, we are taking a short commercial break. We'll be right here on Everyday Woman on KTN Home. Welcome back from the break. This is Everyday Woman here on KTN. Remember, you can catch the previous episodes on our YouTube channel, and of course, you can stream this particular episode on Facebook and on YouTube, real time. Well, our guest today is Alice, the founder of Safisha Africa Welfare Foundation. For 15 years, she's been helping families and children that cannot support themselves to get education or to live a better life. Alice, when you're on break, you're very bubbly. Is this you every other day before we get to talking more about the serious stuff that you do? How often do you laugh with the children that you?
I laugh a lot.
Of course.
Yeah, I laugh a lot with the kids. There are some like they really make you feel like you really have peace. Others would knock everywhere on your office. They call me teacher. They have something to say. And from the children, we have so many secrets of the community. They have so much to talk. They'll tell you what they did not eat. They did not eat yesterday, what happened, if the mother was in, if she was not. Children talk a lot.
Amazing. So how do you balance the emotions? Because not every day will be like a day full of laughter. There are some days you hear sad stories because these are a lot of people that have passed through your hands. How do you balance your emotions?
Yeah, in this charity school, I've had so many reports going on. A girl of 5 years is raped. You follow up. You found that the mother did not have food, but the neighbor around, who is a man, said, if you give me your girl, I sleep with her, I'll give you 500 shillings. And the mother has 4 children, and the mother says, so gives the child. After the child one time was raped, she comes walking differently. We try, but we take her somewhere, and yes, the girl has been raped. You try to find out, find the news, find everything. You find you are going nowhere. The mother has already been paid, and the girl is suffering, and later they take off. You no longer can find them because they know it's really hard. So it's not very easy when you are supporting. You are supporting children that have difficulties in their homes, that very many things are coming in. The children officer brings you children maybe from alcoholic mom. The children have been on the street. They cannot, just for them to be able to enter into the system. It's not very easy. You walk alongside with them slowly by slowly, counseling. They come to reporting, telling you stories. And there, yes, you create friendship, and yes, it works. And also as a school, there are also ways you would be able to bring the children closer through mentorship, discipline, and many other areas that they will be able to learn that this is good, this is bad. You just don't leave them because they are from the street. You bring them closer to see that they are in a world that changes very fast, and they need also to be better children to create a lot of disciplined community.
Absolutely, well put. Now, you carry children that have very different stories, and I'm sure your end goal is to have a success story. Perhaps you can share some of the success stories that you've had with these children that you've either mentored or taken to school so far.
Yeah, I have a girl that she even came to KTN. She wanted sponsorship to go to Alliance Girls School. But she said if she doesn't go to school, she will commit suicide. That time we traveled up to Naivasha. I took her to Alliance Girls High School. I bought everything that was needed. I did all the shopping. I paid her fees for the first year before Corona came. Then she went to school. Up to now, she's still existing. She did not die. It was to save her life, and I was happy that now she's in school. Here at the school, we have a junior high school. I also have a girl who wanted to commit suicide because of her poverty situation at home, and she felt, this I cannot stomach. I need to die. And the moment she took a rope to go and die, somebody rescued her. She came back to the assistant chief. Assistant chief had to spend some days with her, talking to her, and just called me. They called me Safisha. Safisha, here is somebody who really needs help. I say, what is it? Say, okay, I have this situation, this and that. And they bring the girl. She's doing very well. She stays with me. So I have so many children. I'm a mother of many. I always tell people I'm a mother of local children, international children, and everybody talks about Safisha locally and internationally.
Amazing. You had once talked about the breakthrough of the Australian guy that you got to help you sustain this program. As time went by, did you now get more well-wishers? Do you have any more supporters?
Yeah, from after the Australian person assisted me, I continued to get more international who have helped me. I knew as a pastor I had a gift of fundraising and talking to people, and the more I had many coming, the more I kept talking through fundraising, is the more I did build the school. And you know, from there somebody just comes and says, I want to help this, but I don't want to be recognized that I have done this. So you do it as per the instructions of the people. So that's how I've gotten several people to be able to support me.
Do you ever get a chance to interact with them at a personal level? And if so, what strategy do you use to make sure at least una interact na wao moja kwa moja?
Actually, I normally get to, like the ones I sponsor in school, I normally call them, and some of them who are near, they come, we interact, they talk, they tell me their progress. I sponsor children even in Kilifi, and in Naivasha I have children that I support. I have children that I support in Vihiga, in Kakamega. So I have children all over, more than 5 counties that I support. Not only that, I felt if I support only children here and they go to homes, they encounter several problems. That's where we have things like rape, we have children walking around from their parents. So I created more groups in the area plus Dantora where women come together in mentorship, and I visit them when they feel like, okay, come and visit us, I visit them. In 20 groups, that's one group. Another 20 group, another group. So I have more than 5 groups that I support, that they do business and they bring 20 shillings each on the table. And with that 20 shillings, within 5 days, they give to one person through ballot that you choose this number 1, number 2, number 3. So they give to one person, and as they continue. So the groups are still continuing. When I find they're going down, I go visit them, I boost the group again. If I had given them maybe 20,000, I give them again 10,000. And the group continues. So with these groups, I'm encouraged that when they succeed, I succeed. And that's my happiness. I feel when you sacrifice and give out, another person prospering, you are also prospering, because there will be peace.
Wonderful, wonderful. I mean, that carries so much weight. Were we to like go and share the story of each and every individual that you have helped today, this story will be endless. But in a nutshell, she has said, you can plant a tree and you don't necessarily need to sit under that shed, because here's the thing, someone else will sit under that shed, and that's the joy that Alice gets when she sees women and other people empowered and living a dignified life. Well, thank you so much for your time, and we hope the people that have listened to you, perhaps you can give them takeaway message home.
I want to ask everyone to create peace. It's not that you should have millions to do this. You can sacrifice, and when you sacrifice, particularly during this particular time, the economic times are very bad, kindly share whatever little you have. Sharing is caring, and when you are caring, then you are creating a better world. This world needs a person like you and me to make it better. And without you and me, then the world cannot be a better place.
Absolutely, that's about it. So let's be encouraged, and with that note, this brings us to the end of this episode today here on Everyday Woman. Thank you for tuning in to the amazing crew. Asanteni sana. Have a lovely weekend.